A great Wednesday morning. How's everybody doing? Paul Zanaviatis, aka NGRU Storm, back for another live feed. Diablo 4 Season 7. Yes, it's that time again. Hear that crazy screaming sound. What? Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday morning. It's a beautiful day here in Louisiana. We started off a little cool this morning in the 40s, but the day is going to heat up to the mid 70s. So, yeah, it's going to be a pretty day today. And I am happy about that. I'm hoping that the yard is going to dry out a little bit from the weekend rain that we had, kind of starting into the beginning of the week, because we're getting close to that time of year where the grass is going to start growing very fast. So I have got a good bit of work to get done. The clover in the front yard is starting to come up because this area that my house is built in was once a pasture. So needless to say, lots of nice little weeds are growing in my yard. Now, don't get me wrong, I love clover, and clover's great for the bees, but it's not good for the homeowners association. So I've got to get out and get all of that taken care of at some point. Got some work to do on the weed eater as well. Got to replace a fuel feed line. And then, of course, the backyard, that needs to be done. And then springtime's going to roll around. I've got to break out the pressure washer and hit the back deck, hit the house, hit the front sidewalk and the driveway. I mean, that's going to be definitely a full weekend's bit of work, but, I'll get it done. So, today's topic, today's thing, we've done our thing of trying to beat the Nerf drop, and needless to say, I really haven't found an effective way around it. Uh, 2 GA drops are just damn near non-existent. Now, last night, old man Cajun and I were on, and bless his heart, he was tired. I think he woke up at, he said, 2:45 a.m. and couldn't get back to sleep, and then worked a full day. So, that's kind of tough on the body. Bless his heart, he was yawning, but we still got out and we headed over and did the witch hunt thing and the head hunt thing. And, I had a couple of rings drop last night. I think I had 2 GA rings drop, but not one of them had 2 affixes that I needed. So I was thinking to myself, why not begin to explain to folks, and I'm sure there's many other videos on it, but explain to folks how to go about this. Because, I mean, like the other day, I was on and I saw a young Bloodwave Necro, a newer Bloodwave Necro, and, he had good Paragon levels. He was in his 200s, but his gear was all wrong. He makes a comment in, or he or she, I'm not really sure which, but the individual in question made the comment, "Oh wow, the grandfather is great for the Bloodwave Necron." I'm like, "No, it's not." He's like, "Man, have you even looked at the stats?" I said, "The affixes are all wrong. Everything's wrong." So I said, "Add me, take a look at my gear," which he did. And he's like, "Wow, that's pretty amazing." And I told him, I said, "Guys," I told him, "go to maxroll.gg." Now, I have said this repeatedly in my videos. I've shouted out to these guys. I'm not expecting anything from them. But maxroll.gg is a solid place to go for Diablo 4 builds. Now, there's other places that you can go. Icy Veins is one of them, and there's like 2 or 3 others that you can go to. But I have found Maxroll GG to be one of the best of all of them. To me, it's easier to understand. They have a focus on pretty much everything that you need. So, go there and check things out. So as you go and as you look, let's say you're creating a new character. Here's the thing. They have 2 types of build guides here. They have a leveling guide, and then they have an end game guide. Follow their builds. Go, if you're creating a new character, follow the leveling guide until you reach level 60. Once you reach level 60 and you want to start swapping things over and doing things, towards the end game thing, Hey, that's what I did with this Necro. And I mean, granted, I can't run a P150, but P130s are not any problem. And if I had better gear than I have now, it wouldn't be an issue. So what I want to do is try to, show you guys how I have gone about getting some of the items that I have. The 2GA Air of Perdition, which is completely masterworked, and with my gemstones in it, my topazes, my 3GA Shroud of False Death, completely masterworked, and it is a rune word piece. My 2GA Archon Gauntlets of Ultimate Shadow. And then we can go through the Kasemi's Legacy, only a 1GA. I'm continuing to look for a 2GA, but Lord Zir is being a stingy old butthole and will not drop them for me. I'm looking for better boots. I have a 1GA set of boots. Granted, everything's as it should be, but it's not 2GA. All right, and then the same thing for my Tidal Bonebreaker. I'd like to find another 2GA, two-handed mace with the GAs where they need to be, which would be, for me, in this case, it would be Intelligence and Max Life. I re-rolled for the lucky hit, and we're going to talk about that today a good bit. The Kin Lord Band of the Damned, still a 1GA. I have not been able to find another 2GA ring that has Intelligence and Max Life as the 2GAs. I mean, it seems like they're non-existent. Perfect one here, the Axolotl Smile. Man, both GAs were in the right spot. Intelligence and Maximum Life. That was great. I was so happy to see that. And then as far as a higher GA on the Ocelot's Eye, yeah, these things are far and few between. And when I finally found one, it was like the first in 2 seasons. So, but I wanted to talk about how to go about doing this and maybe explain a little bit better, because some people go through it very, very quickly. I want to go through it step by step so that each of you can begin to understand what's going on. So the first thing we really need to talk about is affixes. So what I want to do this morning is I want to go out. I'm going to run a couple of blood or a couple of witch hunts to start with, and we're going to begin to look for some gear. Okay, somebody's selling Fists of Fate and Sovereign Tassets of the Deflecting Barrier. Tassets, I think, are going to be pants, so can't use those. And it looks like some kind of a weird glitchy poo ended up on his screen there, but that's okay, no big deal. So the first thing I want to do is before we go to the witch hunt, what I want to talk to you guys about is aspects and tempering. So as your character comes up, one of the things that I explained to each of you early on was that early game, it's not in your best interest to sell gear. Oh, well, Storm, I don't have any money. Okay, I do understand that. Trust me, I understand that. But once you begin to get away from the early levels of the game, so let's go back to look at the things how they work. Okay, so normal, some people start here, some people don't. I usually try to start hard level when I'm building a character, and I want you to take a look at what it says. Monster kills grant 75% more experience. Monsters drop 75% more gold. So if you start off on hard, which is not that bad, believe me, it's not that bad, you're going to get more experience. You're going to get more gold. Well, how am I supposed to start with all this beginner gear, Storm? Well, yeah, I know it's a little bit of a pain in the ding-ding, but here's the thing. You're not focusing on end game gear when you start building a character. All you want to do is try to get the next best thing that drops onto your character that will benefit the build that you are working on. You go to expert, 125% more experience for killing monsters, 125% more gold, up to 175 on penitent, both sides, and then torment. Wow, 300% more gold and experience. You don't see a whole lot of magic and rare equipment, although you do occasionally do. Ancestral items become available, and that's where things really start getting thick. Okay. And then you've got the thing about, the seasonal thing. Forgotten witchcraft altars, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. Look at the very bottom line. Your armor is reduced by 250 and your resistances by 25%. So when you hit this level, you want to make sure that you've got some better gear. Okay? Torment 2. Monster kills grant 400% more gold and experience. So the gold drops as you continue to move through. Torment 3, 500% more gold experience. And then lastly, Torment 4, which is where I run, 600% more gold and experience. So cash is going to come. This is the reason why I have always said in the very beginning of the game, it is always good, especially when you start, getting into torment levels, when ancestral items start dropping. These aspects and whatnot are very, very, very important. Okay, so Storm, what do you mean about aspects? Okay, if you go to your collections, you have this thing called the Codex of Power. When you get into the Codex of Power, these are aspects. These are things that actually change the functionality of the gear that you've done. So there are defensive aspects, offensive aspects, resource aspects, utility aspects, mobility aspects, and you want to try to get these things to their max level. So let's look at the very top one here on this mobility aspect. On the right hand side, you see aspect of creeping mist. It's 18 of 21. What that means is that there are 21 levels to this specific aspect, and the only way that you're going to increase this aspect level is by finding gear that has a higher level than the one you've previously found. And the cool thing about Diablo 4 is it's always going to remember the higher quality aspect from a weapon that you found. It'll automatically upgrade it for you. So periodically, when you're gaming, when you're doing your thing, and you go to salvage something, up in the upper right hand corner of the weapon icon that's in your equipment box on your character, you're going to see this funky little symbol up in the right hand corner of it. That means it's a new aspect. Now me, I rarely see this anymore because of the fact that I've been playing since the beginning of the season and have most of these aspects completely upgraded. I mean, take a look. The aphotic aspect is now maxed. Aspect of assistance, aspect of audacity, 21 of 21, 8 of 8, 16 of 16. These things are already maxed out. In my resources, I've got, let me see, 2 that's maxed out, 1 that's close, and 1 that's a little bit close. Offensive, I have some here that are maxed out. Defensive, I have some here. And of course, this is all. This is why I tell you, in the beginning, salvage everything. Not only is this going to help with the Codex of Power, but it will also help in a huge, huge way your collection of crafting material, and that's really important. You can see your crafting material by, at least for the PlayStation, you hit L3, and then you can actually look at the stock of goods that you have. Now granted, I do have a metric shit ton of materials, but that's because I've been in this since the beginning of the season, and I'm pushing it hard, So very, very important. Yes, salvage the gear as you're leveling. Get your next best on. Get the crafting materials that you need, because at the end of the day, that's going to make a huge difference for you. Also, tempering. And this is another important thing. This is also going to be found in the Codex of Power under the Tempering Recipes tab. There are some for weapons, some for offense, some for defense, some for utility, and some for mobility. There's also a resource down at the bottom here. So as you are going through and you are doing all of this, you're gaming, you're killing monsters, you're having a great time with your friends, every once in a while, a scroll is going to drop on the ground, and you will see it in your equipment area on your character sheet. Now, these can't be sold that I'm aware of. I could be 100% wrong. I don't think they can be salvaged either. Again, I could be wrong. This is something that you use. And as you get these, if you'll notice, so let's say weapons to begin with. Okay. So with weapons, there are blood augments. Notice there are 3 types: magic, rare, and legendary. The legendary are the ones that you want. This is what makes the weapon most effective when you go through and you're taking care of re-rolling your gears, changing out your aspects, and then when you go to temper, these are going to make a difference in terms of the weapon damage as well. So these are going to drop. You're going to pick them up. You're going to click on them that says use. Basically, what you do is you're basically reading it, and the game remembers. And it's going to remember all of the ones that you have. So you want to try to always, look for these things. Of course, it's not any specific spot that you look. It's more a case of these will begin dropping, if I'm not mistaken, once you begin to climb in levels. I think the legendaries begin to drop at 60. I could be 100% wrong there, so don't quote me. But be on the lookout for these things, because this is something else that's going to make a huge, huge difference for you. All right. So we've talked about the aspects. We've talked about the tempering recipes that you can get. Well, how do I go about doing this, Storm? Well, there's 2 people here that you need to talk to. One is the occultist. The other one is the blacksmith. So, with that said, let's begin to think about how we're going to do this. First and foremost of all, remember I said salvage everything? Well, there's some of the materials that you're going to need, but there's also other materials that you're going to need. And this is specifically for Masterworking, one of the items that you are specifically going to need, actually are 2. There we go. Blah, 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 blah. Let's scroll down here. Right here. Obdicite. It is a rare crafting material used by the blacksmith to master work equipment. So, you're not going to see Obdicite until you see level 60. And once you do, here's the thing that I would suggest that you do. Nightmare dungeons. Now, Infernal Hordes, can you do it with that? Yeah, Infernal Hordes, you can jump into it. You can jump into the Undercity of Kurost if you have completed the storyline where that is concerned. There's one specific storyline that will allow you, or mission, that will allow you to get into the Undercity of Kurost. And the way that you do that is you go to the Kurost Bazaar. In fact, let's what I'm going to do is we're going to jump down there right quick so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. And if you complete the storyline, you're going to have the Kurost thing, unless you don't have the expansion. Get the expansion, folks. I mean, if you want to wait until it goes on sale, I completely understand. Hell, I know money's tough for me right now. As much as I would like to upgrade to a PS5, a new, home theater decoder, a new TV, 4K, 120 hertz. I can't afford to do that shit right now. Honestly, I mean, I can't really afford to go out and eat the kind of meal that I would like to eat. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm going to go to a restaurant and spend $1,200 on a little bit of steak, just one little tiny cube. You know how they do in the fancy restaurants. I can't go out and eat as often as I would like to. And especially now, that's kind of been wiped off the map. I can't do that. So when you can, get the expansion. The expansion is going to help you in two ways. One, well, three ways. One, it provides more gameplay, more storyline, and it's actually really good stuff. It's really fun to go through it. Number two, it is going to allow you access to runes. Having runes is important because a lot of these builds that you see on sites like Max Roll GG, shout out guys, and Icy Veins, okay? All of these are going to require rune words in your armor because their assumption is that you have the entire thing bought. That you have, the base game plus the expansion. And there's supposed to be a new DLC, a new expansion, I think, coming out. I think they're saying 2026, so next year at some point. Hopefully we'll see a new expansion for Diablo 4. That will be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. If Blizzard does what they've done here, I'm thumbs up. Guys, do it. Just please keep the woke nonsense out of it. It doesn't belong in games. Okay? Just keep that crap out of it. All right. So, if you have bought the expansion, then what you're going to do is you're going to come down here to the Kurost Bazaar. Okay, we're gonna transport there. And again, we're talking about Obdicite, how to achieve Obdicite. Now this way, again, this is assuming that you have purchased the expansion. Okay, so we're going to run past the marketplace here, and we're going to hit the stairs here. We're going to come down the stairs over here, and this is it. This is Kurost Undercity. And how do you access it, Storm? Well, as you go through at level 60 or above, so in other words, tormenting up, I would think, you're going, and you've completed the mission for the Kurost Undercity, you're going to start seeing some things drop. So let's get over and I'll show you exactly what's going to start dropping for you. One more. Okay. That's these things. These tributes will start dropping for you. And these tributes are how you do it. Well, what do you use, Storm? You use this. Tribute of Titans. This is how you're, well, no, I'm mistaken. This is boss summoning items. My bad. I think there's one that offers Obdicite, doesn't it? There's one here that will give you, see, you can earn runes with this one. There's one that will actually give you Obdicite. If I'm not mistaken, it drops with the boss summoning stuff. So that's one way that you can do it. The other way that you can do it is hit Infernal Hordes. Infernal Hordes are a blast. They're a lot of fun to do. And you don't have to, do the weight, the 10 wave. You can do a cap 4, cap 6, a cap 8, and still get Obdicite from there.
This is fine, as far as towns go.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm happy you're happy, Subo. Let's continue talking to the kind people here. All right. So Infernal Hordes, and I carry these with me at all times in case I decide to run one. Here they are. The Infernal Hordes Compass. These things are going to drop at level 60 plus, or level 60 Paragon plus. And as you can see, I have 7 cap 6s. And this is, when I say a cap 6, I'm referring to the number of waves of enemies that come at you. I cap 6, I have 14 cap 8s, I have 12 cap 10s. I can always go and run these things. So when you do your Infernal Horde, and you get to the last part of it where you have to go in and defeat the council, after you defeated the council, there are 3 boxes that you can choose from up at the top of the screen. The first one drops gear. That's the biggest one. It's like at the, if you're looking at the area where the spawn, where the the council spawns. If you look at it like say a clock, at the 12 o'clock position, you have the box for gear. At the 1 o'clock position, you have a box that gives you materials, gems, obdicite, other crafting materials. It's all going to drop there. And then at the 2 o'clock position, there's one that drops nothing but gold. So that's how you get them out of the Infernal Hordes. But even, the Undercity and Infernal Hordes can be pretty difficult to move through sometimes, especially if you haven't got all of your Paragon levels and stuff like that. But you still want that Obdicite, so you found a piece of gear that you can use. How do you go about getting it? The next way is to actually begin to run some of these. Not forgotten. Let me see. Yeah, Nightmare Dungeon. And these are actually easy to run. They're not too bad. If you have a group you're running with, that's even better because you're going to get more experience. But this is the next way that you go about getting it. So you have 3 methods to get the Obdicite that you need to do your Masterworking. Okay, so with that explained, let's begin by going to a witch hunt. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can get a 1 or a 2 GA drop. May take a bit, but bear with me. So let me just step right here. Let's zoom out and see who's in business this morning. Oh, look. Tarsarak is in business, but how long? 26 minutes. Perfect. All right, so we're going to Tarsarak. Now, the reason why I'm saying I'm going here is because at a headhunt event, tons of crap drops, and the more drops, the better chance you have for that item. Same thing with the bosses that you run and kill. Zir, Grigor, on and on and on. All of these guys, that's why you save up your boss materials for those people and run them over and over and over and over again in hopes of getting a better drop. But be that as it may. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out here and we're going to try to start getting some things done. Now the first thing that I want to do, let me zoom in here, is I want to go up here to the Shepherd. And what we're going to try to do is get an event happening. But in the meantime, we're going to do some easy stuff. We're gonna start knocking out Purge the Rot, which isn't that hard to do. The wonderful thing about the Bloodwave Necromancer is that the build uses the Pyrenedo, and as you can see, it just pulls them straight in. It makes it easier because the corpse tendrils, they require a corpse to work. The Pyrenedo doesn't require a corpse to work. It just kind of appears and then blap. Okay, somebody's throwing spitballs. And somebody's planting flowers. We've got another character up here doing its thing. Alright, here's some more poopies. We're going to knock them out. Now notice, no drop ship. All we're getting is gold and healing potions. Okay, a cocoon has been uprooted. There's the first one. We're going to help. So we're going to get up here and we're going to start throwing blood waves. We're going to kill as many of these things as we can. Now the reason that I'm saying don't just stand there, get in, start working, knock some kills out, is if you look closely when you kill these things, you're going to see these like weird purple filaments heading back towards the cocoons that have been exposed. There's a twofer. Alright, no drops yet. We're still working. See those weird purple filaments? I could be wrong, but I feel like it's almost charging up the exposed cocoons. Alright, so the next thing that's going to pop is going to be the big guy. Let me get another good charge here, and pow, there he goes. Okay, hey, we got a 1 GA ring, perfect. Oh, another event just started. We're going to hang out and see what we can do. Now, here's another thing, guys. If you notice, see there's an exposed root setting here. Don't pop it like that idiot friggin' barbarian just did. Don't do that. The reason I'm telling you not to do it is because, see, there he did. He popped it. What a jerk. The reason I'm saying don't pop these is because after you finish this headhunt, okay, more exposed roots will pop up. If you save them, if you don't pop them, guess what? You're going to have more chance of spawning another event. But unfortunately, we have idiots who play the game who don't understand how it works. So, thank you, idiot barbarian. May your nuts grow to your leg and be painful. Okay, so we've got a few more things, you know, a few more roots that popped up. But had that barbarian not come over here and pop this one, we would have had another chance to make things happen. Be respectful in gameplay, folks. All right, so let's pick up all this trash. We're going to pick it up one at a time, and then we're going to leave. All right, get everything. Yeah, I know you need more time, but I'm not trying to get you to hit a frickin'... Well, there's another piece for me that dropped over there. Ooh, a little bit of money, another amulet. Let's zap out of here right now. Okay, this procedure that I'm about to show you works for ancestral legendary items, okay? You can't temper a unique that I'm aware of. You can't temper a mythic unique either. You cannot, as far as I know. So this is just for your ancestral legendaries. So here's what we're going to do. Let's zap these into order. I am going to favorite. No, not swap it. Could have put a favorite on it. And then what I do is at this point, since I have so many materials, I don't need any more really. I'm going to be selling all of these things off.
Thanks, friend.
Okay, we have, okay, look, we've got a shard of Varathiel here. So we're going to keep that, and I'll show you why in a moment. All right, we've got some amulets here that need to be sold, and a piece, some dookie boots. Okay, we are good to go. Now, this ring is, let's see, 1 GA. The GA is on maximum life. It offers 28% damage out of a possible 35%, and then 44% lightning resistance out of a total of 50%. It is blood, the adorned in blood of the accursed touch ring. So I'm pretty sure it's the accursed touch. Let's see, skills to inflict vampir's curse. Yeah, it's, so that is the aspect that's on there. So let's talk about how you go about doing this stuff. All right. So let's say on this particular ring, the adorned in blood of the accursed touch ancestral legendary ring, you have, based on the build that is prescribed by whoever you're going to, again, I go to maxroyal.gg, you need maximum life and a plus to damage on the ring. But that lightning resistance down there at the bottom, you don't need that. You need a different affix to make this ring specifically what you need for your build. Here's how you go about changing that. All right, let's go up and let's talk with the occultist.
There is magic in all things.
Yes, there's magic in all things. I've got magic in my pee-pee. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. A little swig of Coke and a vape to calm my nerves from that last blurted out statement. Yeah, PP is actually magical. And most people don't believe this, but it's true. You ask any EMT this. Those of you who suffer from athlete's foot and have tried every cream, spray, ointment on the market, and you still have athlete's foot, when you get in the shower, pee on your feet. Your urine is sterile to your own body, but it'll kill the fuck out of some athlete's foot. Ask an EMT. It's true. It's crazy true. All right, so let's talk about the ring. Now, one of the things that I want to do before I get started is I am going to remove the favorite from it. And I want to grab one other thing from the, some Wild Bolt Archon gauntlets. Okay, we'll do the gauntlets too. And let's look in the stash. This is a crappy, so we'll take it. All right, so I've got an example of all the different types of stuff that you can work with. I'm going to get rid of the gloves because I just don't see a need to waste anything on those gloves. Let's zap this in order. Good to go. Super, super, super. All right. So, like I said, let's come talk to the occultist. All right. So the first thing that you want to do is replace an affix on that ring. So let's take a look at the ring. Okay, my build says I need maximum life, I need plus to damage, and I need something else. Okay, I don't know what that something else is. This is going to be part of the example. Okay, I need that last affix to be different, and I need the aspect to be different. Well, this is how you do it. Okay, come talk to the occultist. You're going to move over to the last box, item to replace affix of. We're going to select the ring. Now, if you notice, what I want you to do is I want you to take a look at my screen right now. Specifically, look at equipment. If you'll notice, the mythic unique that I have and just the regular unique that I have, those boxes are grayed out. You cannot replace affixes on a unique or a mythic unique. You can't replace aspects. Okay? I don't think you can temper them, but you can masterwork them. So, off we go. Okay, so we know we need max life. We know we need the damage. The one we want to replace is lightning resistance. Okay? Well, how do I know that she's going to give me what I want? On my affix storm, look at the bottom of my screen, right in the center of the bottom of your screen. You see, for me, it's press the triangle button, PS4, view possible affixes. It will vary from system, from PC to Xbox to PS4. That will vary. But you want to view the possible affixes. You bring that up, and it will show you everything that this can be replaced with. Okay? You can scroll down and you can see it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, folks. One, this requires some cash because you don't always get what you want on the first roll. In fact, what I'm going to do is take this up to a more expensive roll to show you how high the cost can get. And each time, if you'll look, it requires specific materials for you to do this. Now, I think the materials remain the same, but the cost goes up. So we're just going to do this until such time that it gets expensive. All right? So you know what your affixes are that were actually could possibly replace this. So you know it's there. You've gone through it. You've looked at your build on Maxroll GG. Hey, that's it right there. Let's get started. So we know we want to replace that. Come down here to enchant and hit the button. And accept. And always remember this, guys, when you replace an aspect, when you replace an aspect, when you change an affix, when you temper, when you masterwork, the gear is bound to your account. Don't show how people dumb you are by going to the trade channel and trying to sell it. Same thing with the mythic uniques. You cannot sell mythic uniques. You can't trade them. Anything that is account bound cannot be traded for anything. It stays bound to your account. All right, so we're going to replace this. So accept, and these are the offer. This is what it came back to me as. Okay, I can do no change. Of course, your materials aren't going to be refunded. Or I could go 114 intelligence. I can go 5.2% critical strike chance. Well, I don't see one that I like. Storm, should I change it? You know what? I do. I try to change it up because you never know what you're going to get back. So let's try the intelligence thing, okay? Let's say we're going to swap to intelligence. Replace the affix, and it's done. Okay. But we know we don't need intelligence. We need something different. Notice the enchant price has gone up. We're going to hit it again. Let's say life per second. That's not what we need. I'm just trying to swap it up to maybe get that one roll that I need. Replace the affix. Close. We know that's not it. We're going to go back again. It's gone up by another 100,000. Did you see that? 216,000 is what I needed to re-roll this time. Okay. I don't see what I need. I'm going to maybe try intelligence. Maybe that will give me what I need. Replace the affix. All right. We know that that's not it, so we have to re-roll again. Notice price has gone up. Let's do it again. Man, poison resistance. Now, which one do I choose? I don't know. Gut feeling. Let's say poison resistance. Remember, right now, what we're doing is I'm just trying to re-roll this as many times as I can to show you how expensive it can get. And sometimes, I mean, you can spend tons of... Old Man Cajun has spent over $1 billion re-rolling an item, trying to get an affix that he needed. So, okay, we're going to replace the affix. Close. We know that's not the one we want. Price has gone up. We've gone up over 200,000 per re-roll at this point. Let's take it again. And if you notice, see how it keeps giving you kind of the same stuff? Let's swap this out. Let's go critical strike chance and see if that's going to make a difference. Close. Okay. 400K. Look at this. The intelligence keeps coming up. Have you noticed that? Let's go overpower damage and see if we can knock intelligence off of that thing. All right. 613K. Let's keep going. Okay, notice intelligence is not there. So evidently one of the things that I did, one of the things that I chose, kind of knocked something else off the list. So that it's weird. It's gut feeling. It's basically it's RNG. And trust me, this is where the goddess of RNG, small g, goddess of RNG, really likes to, bend over and don't complain when I stick it in, kind of thing. All right, so 60% damage over time. Let's replace the affix. Close. Look at the price it's gone up to now. Oh, look, there's no intelligence. Okay, so let's go 2 essence on kill. Again, we're re-rolling just to show you how expensive it can get. Replace the affix. Okay, it's not the one that we want. We've got to keep rolling. Notice 900,000 after all of these re-rolls. Resource cost reduction. Maybe that'll get us to where we want to go. Again, I'm re-rolling just to show you how expensive it can get. All right, close. Let's up. We're already over $1 million. And this will go up each time you re-roll. It will continue to go up. So, okay, Storm, I'm going to try this last one. I'm going to say that's the one I needed. I needed lucky hit chance on here. Again, this is all hypothetical. Re-rolling to show you how expensive it can get. So we're going to say that this is the one that you needed. Lucky hit chance. Oh, great. It's here. We're going to replace the affix. Okay. So we've replaced the affix on the equipment, and we're happy about it. Okay, but now we need to change the aspect. The aspect on the ring is not what we need. We need something different. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back over here to where we can imprint an aspect. All right. So we're going to take the ring that we have re-rolled. Now I want you to look closely at the affixes. You see the star, the bright star, the asterisk, whatever you want to call it, on max life. That's your grand affix, okay? Then you had the 28% damage. We knew we needed that. That was part of it. When you find one of these items, 2 affixes have to be what you need, and you re-roll for the third. And then we re-rolled for the third. But if you'll notice, the second and the third, the icon in front of them changed. That shows you that it's been re-rolled. All right, so we're wanting to replace the aspect on this. So you drop the ring in, you go to your Codex of Power, and here's the cool thing about it. If you switch to your filters, which for me is, I think it's R3, is it R? It says R. I'm trying to figure out how to get up there again. I thought it was R3. Guys, this is like, okay. Anyway, you can switch to filters and you can search for it by name, but for some strange reason, it's not working for me right now. So let's try it again. Codex of Power. Why is it not allowing me to go up? I don't understand that. Okay, so normally on the PS4, you can hit R3 and it will take you up to the filters. Instead of going to keyword search, you can actually go to search, and you can look for the one that you need by typing in like say the first word of the aspect. Okay, let's just say we needed let's say we needed one of the ones that I've got the 21 of 21 on. We need the aspect of grasping veins, okay? So this one is maxed out. Gain 25% of a 15 to 25% chance. Increase critical strike for 6 seconds when you cast corpse tendrils. You deal 50 times out of a possible 10 to 50% more damage, bonus critical strike damage, to enemies for 6 seconds after they're damaged by corpse tendrils. So we're going to say this one. We select it. We see how much it's going to cost and the materials that it's going to take. Souls, obtuse sigils, veiled crystals, and iron chunks, okay? And down below it, it shows you the amount that it's going to charge you for each one, to include an amount of gold. Accept. Boom. Okay, so now we have crafted the exact ring that we need. We've re-rolled until we've got the aspect that we need. Again, this is all hypothetical. Okay, I'm going through the motions to show you guys how to do it. We've re-rolled until we got the affix that we needed. We came back. We changed the aspect on the ring. I keep getting the affix aspect. It's all ass. Okay, aspect. that we needed to get the ring. So this is actually the ring that we need. Now, I want you to look at item power. This says 800 item power. If you pick up a ring like this without a GA, okay, you can still re-roll one of the affixes to get what you need, but that ring will be a 750 item power. Anything with 1 GA or above is going to be 800 item power. The difference between the two comes in Masterworking, and I'll show you that next. All right, so now we need to come talk to the blacksmith.
I forge more than horseshoes and nails. What do you need?
I need you to do some tempering for me, you big hunky redhead you. There's a lady on YouTube, a girl on YouTube, lady actually, on YouTube that is a blacksmith, and she is a big, muscly, monstrously boobed redhead, and she is, I mean, I could be 100% wrong, but I think she's pagan. And I don't have a problem with that. Believe what you want to believe, you know. I believe what I want to believe. But she does YouTube videos, and it amuses me how more often than not they end up focusing on her knockers. I was like, come on, guys. If she's a good blacksmith, why do you have to focus on her knockers? But she is a good blacksmith. She produces some pretty cool stuff. And she does it where she beats the metal with the hammer. She ain't using none of these hydraulic presses or hydraulic hammers. She doing it the old-fashioned way. She's swinging a hammer, folks. And she reminds me of the blacksmith here in game. All right, so what we need to do at this point is we're going to go over and we're going to do some tempering. And this is where tempering starts. Cetus is going to temper stuff for you. Now, select rare, legendary item or recipes, okay? And we talked about that in the Codex of Power. How on the tempering recipes, you have legendary tempering recipes. You have rare tempering recipes. You have magic. Legendary are always the best. Always going to be the best. So, we're going to... we want to, on this ring, what we want to do is we want to temper it. So we select the item, we get it in the box. Now I want you to notice, on rings, the only thing that you get are offensive and resource. On weapons, it's going to be different. On armor, it's going to be different. Everything is, every kind of things will change up depending on what item you're putting in there. Okay, so let's say that for your particular build, it requires one, you can only put one offensive tempering on it, you can only put one resource. And when you go to your build guide on maxroll.gg, it's not going to tell you that you can put a mobility aspect on a ring. It's going to tell you you're going to need one offensive and one resource. So let's start with the offensive. Excuse me, guys. Sometimes you actually have to look through these to find exactly what it is you need. So profane finesse, damage, and this is legendary, okay? Damage to cursed enemies, yada, yada, yada. So you've got 4 items there that could possibly roll out. Same sharpen fitness, there's 3. Shadow finesse, there's 3. Minion finesse, there's 3. Bone finesse, there's 3. Blood finesse, there's 4. Natural finesse, there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. Worldly finesse, there's 3. So you're going to look for the one that is prescribed by your character's build. Let's say this one requires blood finesse, and let's say we need, let's say, blood damage, okay? Now, each of these rings, we're going to select it, each of these rings have a maximum number of times that you can temper it, okay? So if I'm not mistaken, hang on, let's look in the inventory. Let's take a look at this ring. And it is not the one on the equipped side, it's the one on the other side. Okay. Tempers. 6 of 6. You can temper this ring 6 times. Now, remember, re-rolling gear is all about frickin' RNG. You don't always get what you want, which is absolutely insane. But it is part of the game, and it's one of those things that keep you on the edge of your seat as you're doing it. Is it nerve-wracking? Yes. Why? Because you can only temper it 6 times. Now there is a workaround. There is a workaround. But this is something that you're not going to see until you're level 60. So you could find something that you are 60, you're running Torment, you're doing Infernal Hordes, and you're getting a thing called a Scroll of Restoration. Okay? So let's say, and in fact we're going to do that before we get started on that. I want to go through all the possibilities here. Okay? Where are they? Alright, I'm going to break, let's split this. I just need one, and we're going to take it. Okay, now, like I said, when it comes to the affixes, especially the affixes, now, you can re-roll an affix as many times as you want. You can only re-roll one of the affixes on the ring. After you've re-rolled one, the only one that you can go back and re-roll is the one that you re-rolled to start with. So, as you can see, it can get very expensive to get the specific affix that you want. You know, talked about it earlier. Old Man Cajun, over $1 billion to get what he needed in an affix. Sometimes RNG can be very fickle. Let me get out of these people's way. So, it's the same thing with tempering. Cetus isn't always going to give you what you want on the first roll. Okay? She's not going to do it. Sometimes you may get very lucky and she'll spill it out the first thing. Sometimes you won't. And that's when the butt pucker factor begins to set on. And trust me, if you don't have a scroll of restoration and you are on number 4 of 6, hoping to get that first temper roll right so that you'll have a chance left for 2 re-rolls to get the second tempering right, pucker factor is about 10. So what does pucker factor 10 mean? Pucker factor 10 means the booty hole's so tight, if you stuck a piece of coal up it before it got tight and then you got to pucker factor 10, you'd go to the bathroom after a cup of coffee and shit diamonds. Straight up, straightforward, pucker factor, folks. All right, so with pucker factor in mind, we begin to go. Now, remember, 6 of 6 tempers. So let's say you go through all of those tempers, okay? If you do, that's where this little jewel comes in. You can use this to restore all the tempering charges on an item. So instead of 0 of 6, it goes back to 6 of 6. But after you use it one time, one scroll of restoration per item is all you can use. So you have basically a total of 12 chances to get what you need. If you can't get what you need in those 12 chances, guess what? Salvage a ring, go find another one. So, let me get out of everybody's way here. Okay, Cetus, now we can talk about the tempering. Alright, so we know we need to add some affixes to this. Alright, so we're going to look at the offensive first. Alright, let's say you're a minion necromancer, okay? And you need one of these, and you need it high. Okay, let's say you need high skeletal mage damage. or high golem
Yes,
damage,
will do.
or high summon damage. We're going to go with skeletal mage. We want that as high as possible. So there's 3 possible rolls. All right, let's go down here and temper the item. Ba-ding! Okay, we got golem damage, 111, but that's not what we wanted. We wanted skeletal mage damage. So we're going to go back in. We're going to go back to offensive. We're going to go back to bone finesse because that's not the one that we wanted. We're going to go to minion finesse. That's the one we wanted. And we want skeletal mage damage, but we want it as high as possible. Select, go down to the temper. Now look, in the circle above the material cost, if you look at the very bottom line there, right above material cost, temper rerolls remaining 6. No, it's temper rerolls remaining 5 if I'm not mistaken, but this one will make it 5. So, okay. So I guess maybe she gives you the first one for free. Who knows? Okay, temper rerolls 1. Boop. Clank, clank. Oh, wow. Let's say we got it on the second try. Isn't that amazing? We needed skeletal mage damage. We have, instead of 100%, we have 97.5. Folks, don't be picky. Now, if it had re-rolled, let's say if it had given me a 76% damage out of a possible 100% damage, yeah, I would say re-roll it. But out of 100%, you got 97.5. Don't complain. Be thankful that the RNG gods blessed you and move on. All right, so we've got the offensive aspect on it. We need a resource aspect. So, Necromancer Invigoration, no. Worldly Stability, no. We're going to go with Necromancer Efficiency. Let's see. Golem Activate Cooldown Reduction. Okay, so if you're running minions, you're probably running golems too. So we want to give the golems some good stuff. Let's look at the weapon attunement. Nothing here. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we want to get, let's say, Golem Active Cooldown. All right. So we selected the one that we want. We're going to temper. Ultimate cooldown reduction. That's not what we wanted. Let's go down to resource again. Let's go to efficiency. We're selecting it because we want that golem cooldown. Temper rerolls remaining 5. I guess she does give you the first one for free. Let's see what she gives us. Nope, ultimate cooldown reduction. That's not what I want. I want my golems to cool down. I want a cool and frosty golem. You heard me? I need some golem cool down. I want my golem to cool down some so I can use it more often. What you got? What you got for me, Cetus? No, it's active cooldown. That's not what I needed. Go back down. Do it again. Necromancer efficiency. We want golem active cooldown reduction. Come on, Cetus, give it to us. Let's see what she does. Yep. Okay. We're down to 3 rerolls. No, that's not what we want, Cetus. Come on, girl. Swing the hammer correct. And this is a perfect example of how infuriating this can get. All right, we're going to temper it again. Bone spirit cooldown. I don't need my bone to cool down. I need my golem to cool down. What the fuck, Cetus? Come on, girl. Give it to us. Necromancer efficiency. There it is. Golem active cooldown. Select. Okay, look. Temper rerolls remaining 1. The pucker factor is in high form now. We're talking a 10 out of 10 on the pucker factor. If you had inserted coal, you would be a rich man. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh. She didn't give it to us. Storm, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Well, if you don't have a scroll of restoration, what you're going to do is you're going to stick this ring in your stash, and when you get an infernal hordes, you're going to go run it, and you're going to get your scroll of restoration. So let's say we've got the scroll of restoration. We're clicking out, going back into our inventory, and we're going to go to that scroll right there. You're going to use it, and you're going to say, I want, now notice, 0 of 6 tempers, okay? We're going to use the scroll of restoration on this ring. Click it, and scroll down to the bottom. 6 of 6 is back. So, Cetus, let's talk. Come on, man. There we go. Alright. I'm going to go over. I'm going to select the ring again. I'm going to run a resource. I'm going to go to Necromancer Efficiency. And sometimes you never get it. And that is truly disheartening. Especially if you're talking about a 3 or a 4 GA greater affix. That hurts. That really hurts. But RNG. RNG is a bitch kitty from hell. Let's do the temper reroll. So this is 1. This is the first one after the scroll has been applied. There it is. We got it. Now granted, it's not 25%, but you saw it took an entire set of temperings to get the first one that I needed. And if I didn't have that scroll of restoration done, if I didn't have that in my inventory, I would have never been able to get this. The ring would have either gone back into the thing until I got one, or let's say you came back and you re-rolled again, and in 6 tempering possibilities, you didn't get it. Guess what? It's a piece of trash. Salvage it. Be done with it. You'll get some of your materials back. All right. So now you have changed the affix to one that you needed. Okay? You have changed the aspect to an aspect that you needed. You have tempered it twice to get exactly what you needed. And all of this, guys, again, maxroll.gg, when you go and you look at the end game build for what you need, it's going to tell you each affix that you need, the aspect that you need, and which 2 temperings are most important for you to have. So all of this is set out for you. All you got to do is follow the instructions. The hard part comes when you start re-rolling it, because like I said, RNG is a bitch kitty from hell. All right, so with this complete, what we need to do is we need to masterwork the piece. Now, masterworking you can do on all your items, whether they be an ancestral mythic unique, whether they just be a unique or an ancestral legendary. Now, remember what we talked about item power? I said that anything 1 GA and above is going to have an 800 item power. Anything that does not have a 1 GA, which would be just a regular ancestral legendary, is going to have a 750 item power. Now here's where the masterworking comes in. 750 item power can be masterworked 8 times. 800 can be masterworked a total of 12 times, giving it much more power. All right, so we're going to select the ring. Now, the masterworking can be redone, okay? And I'm going to show you here. Let's see what this gives us. We're going to upgrade, and you're going to do it a total of 4 times to start with.
There's a
1,
good one.
2, 3, 4. Okay, it went on our damage. It brought our damage up some. Okay, let's say that is not what we wanted. There is a way, if you look at the bottom of your screen, there's a way to reset Masterwork ranks. And you can do that, at least on the PS4, by hitting triangle. Okay? And what it will do is, this is what it's going to cost you, yada, yada, yada. We're going to go on ahead and do it. So now all of our masterworking ranks have been reset, and we can go over. Now, let's say it wasn't damage you wanted on, it was something else. That's how you would go about doing it. But right now, we're just going to upgrade for the sake of upgrading. Now, look, all of the stuff that is required is right here. So this requires 10 obdicite. And if you notice, when we go through the upgrades, I want you to keep a close eye on the obdicite cost. Okay, so we're going to go 1,
Some solid bits here.
2, 3, 4. All right. There's the first. Okay, it just brought up the lucky hit chance. That's fine. Again, all of this is hypothetical. I'm just showing you how to do it. All right, so we're going to close. We're going to go back down to upgrade again. We're already up to 60 obdicite for the next level. 60, 120, 240, 360. Lucky hit chance it gave us that time. All right, and now for the final 4 for a 12 of 12 masterworked item. All right, now your upgrade's costing you $1 million. Upgrade, upgrade. Look at the change in price on money. 1.8 million, 1,350 obdicite. I mean, crazy, crazy stuff. All right, and golem cooldown reduction. So now we have our final product. This is exactly what we needed, hypothetically. We have a GI on max life. We've got max damage, or we're at the lowest end on damage. We probably could have increased that by, going back and, okay, that's not the masterwork that I want, that kind of thing. That way you can kind of guide it. But again, RNG. So let's say that this is exactly what we wanted. This ring is now what I need in terms of the build that's prescribed by Maxroll GG for whichever build it is you're running. All right, so we've shown you how to masterwork a Ancestral Legendary 1 GA or better. Now, Storm, I found a 2 GA ring. One of the GAs is on what I need, and one of the GAs is not on what I need. But the one that does, of the 3 affixes, the two that have the GA, the one in the middle that doesn't have a GA, that's what I need. I have to re-roll that one that has a GA on it. Guess what? Effectively, you have a 1 GA ring. You're going to remove the GA when you do it. So it's important when you're looking for this stuff for the GAs to be in the proper space. It's really important, because otherwise, basically, you're going to screw yourself. So I'm going to go on ahead and just salvage that ring because I no longer require it. And boop. And if you'll notice, you can see on the bottom under craft the materials that I got back. I got back 10 iron chunks, 10 veiled crystals. I got back 38 abstruse sigils. I got back 5,830 obdicite, and I got back 28 forgotten souls. Now, granted, this isn't anywhere near what you put into it, but at least you got a little bit back. Guys, give me 2 seconds. Old man's got a bathroom call coming. I'll be right back. And I thank you all for your kind patience. Okay, so let's continue the Masterworking class here. Okay, so I have a mythic unique that I want to masterwork. Harlequin Crest. I managed to get this as a drop run one of the bosses. Or,
Greetings. How shall I guide my hammer?
how I hate it when she says that because I think dirty thoughts. You can come here and you can gamble a mythic unique. May not be what you want, but you can gamble for one. Or you can come over to here and you can talk with the jeweler and she can craft the exact thing that you want, but there's no guarantee on whether it's going to be a GA or not. Remember, I talked about it in one of my previous videos. I think it was, in fact, it was a week ago, Sunday, last Sunday. Yeah, it was this past Sunday. I'm up and around. I've just eaten breakfast, working on a good hot cup of coffee, and I get a text message from Old Man Cajun. He said, "You won't believe what I just got." And I text back to him. I said, "It's Sunday. Don't make me pop a boner. What did you get?" And he he types in LOL. And then he shows me a picture of a 4GA Shroud of Death that he had gambled from the blacksmith, from Seedith here in Kargar. I'm like, oh, bullshit. So I get, jump into PSN chat, and I'm talking with him. I'm like, don't even tell me you rolled that on the first try. And he's like, I rolled it on the first try. I'm like, fuck. So, I mean, there's a couple of different ways you can go about it. You can go for the chance to drop with stingy bosses. You can come to the jeweler. She's going to craft exactly what you want, but there's no guarantee on what kind of GA you're going to get. Or you can come over to Cetus and you can gamble a unique and hope that you get what you want. My suggestion is go to the jeweler unless you've got spare, what do they call having a brain fart here on stuff. Here we go, down here. These one of the things, resplendent sparks. Unless you've got a plethora of these, don't do it. Because, there we go, resplendent spark. That's what you need. And the only way you're going to get a resplendent spark is by, completing the storyline, doing this, doing that, beating on Dariel for the first time, you get a resplendent spark. Or running stingy bosses, getting a drop that you don't need on a mythic unique, and then you come and you salvage it with the blacksmith. You'll get a resplendent spark. All right, so let's say I got this from one of the stingy ass bosses. Let's say Lord Zier dropped this for me. Lord Zier's a complete asshole. So I want to masterwork this. Well, real simple, straightforward. Get in, go over to your masterworking, select the item that you want, and then you do the same thing that you did before. Upgrade, 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 and it works. And the same thing goes for, let's select, let's say we want to use this one, the Shard of Arathiel. If this is what you need, then you go in and you do it. Now, notice Shard of Arathiel does not have a GA on it. Look at the item power. 750. How many times can we masterwork this again? 8. 8 only. If this was at least a 1 GA, like the Harlequin Quest, I can masterwork this a total of 12 times. So now you begin to get an idea of how you would go about getting this done. Let me sell this Shard of Arathiel because I don't need it. Alright. Wrong. Sell. Oh yeah, greasy butthole you. Alright. So this is how you do this, folks. It is not hard to do. Understanding how to do it is not hard. 1. Go to whichever website you want to tell you how to do your build. I highly recommend maxroll.gg. It is clear, it's concise, it's easy to see. That's your first thing. What end game gear do I need? Is this all going to come to you at one time? Oh, hell no. You're going to be looking for a little bit to find it. But when you do, when you find the stuff that you need, when you find that 1 GA or you find that 2 GA, you're going to know exactly what you need to do and follow it in those same steps. 1. Reroll the affix. Understand it could cost some cash. RNG is a bitch kitty from hell. 2. Replace the aspect. And the cool thing on the aspects is, let's say you have a 20 of 21 or a 19 of 21 aspect that you need on that specific item. When you find one that's better, you can go back and you can re-roll it. In fact, let's see if it'll work this time. I'm hoping it will. All right, let's get up here.
Magic is neither good nor evil.
Yeah, I know, baby. You keep saying that to me every time I come talk with you, and okay, no, I can't do it. I'd have to have an item to be able in there to be able to do it. So, but one of the cool things that I learned is that you can type in equip when it comes to those affixes or aspects. That's where I went wrong. Hoobastank. Come talk to me, you ugly skis. Okay, so let's go to the Codex of Power. Okay, there we go. Search. Switch to filters. That's what I wanted to do. And it's still not letting me do it for some strange reason. I don't understand why. Yeah, it's not letting me go up in the keywords. But when you can go up into the keywords there in the search box, you can type in equip, and it will show you all of your items that have aspects on them, and it will show you what quality it is. So if you get something that comes across that's even better, you can always go back and replace that aspect, which makes things even stronger. All right. So you've replaced your affix. You've replaced your aspect. Then you're going to come over here. You're going to temper once. You're going to temper twice. Then you're going to come around if she'll let you. No, she won't let you. Damn it, I went back there to look at her butt, and she won't let me get back there. Okay, so temper once, temper twice, and masterwork. It's that easy. The steps are very, very easy to follow. When it comes to a unique or a mythic unique, all you're going to do is masterwork it. Simple, 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 simple stuff. And this is what brings together a character that does crazy friggin' damage numbers and allows you to run high pits. Now, I discovered the other day the highest pit that I can really push successfully is a 130. If I had better gear, I'd be pushing probably, I want to say, maybe 140s. But it all depends on your gear. Okay? It's all gear dependent. So this is how you go about it, folks. This is what the video was supposed to be about today. And I have accomplished that task. So what I'm going to do is tailor the broadcast off right here. And I'm going to come back with another broadcast, probably tomorrow. And we're just going to do some running and gunning and having some fun, seeing what we can do as far as trying to find the elusive drops that I need to find, because I can't find them, and if you can't find them, you can't find them. All right, guys. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate you bearing with me as I explained to you how to go about doing this. Now, if you've learned something, if you found something funny, if you thought my comments about pucker factor and diamonds were funny, if you agree with me that RNG is a bitch kitty from hell with an attitude, folks, give me a subscribe. I'm trying to build the channel here. I got 4 subscribers yesterday. I was very, very happy to see that. It put a big smile on my face. It lets me know, hey, I'm possibly doing something right here. Please take the time to give me a subscribe. Like the video. Let's get it out there in the algorithm of YouTube's crazy algorithm so that more people can see what I'm doing. It would really help me out if you could. And of course, your choice or not, hit that notification bell. That way when I do a live stream, you're going to ding ding on your phone, hey, Storm's got something coming, hey, I want to watch this. Or you're at work, ding ding, hey, Storm's got a live video coming out, I'm going to watch that when I get home this afternoon. Folks, please, help me out if you can. I try to do the same for other YouTubers. So if you follow me, I'm going to do, if you subscribe to me, I'm going to do my best to sub back to you. I'm trying to grow the channel. Please help me out here if you get a chance. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I hope each and every one of you have an amazing hump day as we begin to wind down towards the end of the week. I hope that your day is great. I hope that, whatever happens is good. And I'm keeping you guys in warm thoughts and in my heart. Peace out. Much love. Paul Piatis, a.k.a. NGRU Storm, signing out. Have a great hump day.